For centuries, humans were nothing more than a whisper. Some believed they died out after the Great Collapse. Others said they simply vanished into the dark beyond the galaxy. No communication, no colonies, no trace. Only stories remained, stories of dangerous minds, impossible technology, and a species born on a death world. The kind of species that fought stars instead of fearing them. But legends were safe. Legends were distant. Reality was not. On the edge of an uncharted system, the exploration cruiser Asterion 4 moved silently through a field of drifting ice rocks. Captain Riken expected another routine scan. Empty space, dead metal, nothing more. The crew yawned, bored, half asleep. Then every screen on the bridge turned red. A metallic shape emerged from the darkness like a memory rising from deep water. The ship was enormous, long and armored, built like a predator that refused to die. Its hull was covered in scars, melted steel, plasma burns, torn plating. Yet it floated perfectly still, like a sleeping beast. The onboard AI stuttered once, then spoke. Unknown vessel detected. Classification, Deathworld class, Tier 3. No one moved. No one breathed. Class 3 ships were not supposed to exist. They were myths, machines built to survive black holes, supernovas, and wars that swallowed civilizations whole. Every empire in the galaxy had searched for one. None ever returned with proof. But here it was. Asterion 4 drifted closer. Engines silent. Hearts loud. Through cracked plating, through shattered armor, Riken saw something impossible. Human cryopods. Hundreds. Alive. Sleeping. Waiting. Humanity was not gone. Humanity was not a legend. They were only paused. And the moment they woke, the galaxy would remember fear. Because Deathworlders never return quietly. Captain Riken felt his throat tighten as the scans confirmed what no one should ever see. Human life signs, stable, preserved, untouched by time. The bridge filled with a heavy silence, a silence thick with fear and wonder. Some crew members stepped back from their stations as if the ship itself could hear them breathe. Nobody had a plan for this. Nobody was ready. Prepare a boarding team, Riken ordered, his voice low and careful. Even he sounded unsure of himself. The crew exchanged nervous glances, but training pulled them into motion. Suits were sealed. Weapons powered. A shuttle detached from Asterion 4 like a small fragment of courage drifting toward death. The Deathworld vessel felt wrong from the moment they entered. No lights. No greetings. Only cold metal hulls stretching into endless darkness. Every footstep echoed like a heartbeat in a silent tomb. Yet the power systems hummed faintly, alive but waiting. Deep in the center of the ship, they found them. Rows of cryopods stood like white coffins, each filled with a human figure. Male, female, young, old, all wearing armor unlike anything in current galactic design. Stronger, sharper, built for war. Then, the nightmare happened. One pod flickered, then another, then dozens. Warning sirens wailed inside the alien-built vessel, though no one had touched anything. Cryo fluid drained. Eyes opened, cold, steady human eyes. Commander Hale was the first to rise. His presence filled the room like gravity. No confusion, no weakness. He simply inhaled, as if he had been waiting for this exact moment. Status, he asked, his voice calm, controlled, deadly. The boarding team froze. Their weapons shook. Hale's gaze turned toward them, unafraid, almost disappointed. You woke us, he said slowly. Good. There is work to finish. The galaxy had not panicked yet, but it soon would. Commander Hale stepped out of the cryopod like a soldier waking from a nap, not from centuries of sleep. His armor carried the marks of old battles, plasma burns, metal dents, claw scratches from creatures that no longer existed. The boarding team stared as if watching history breathe again. Hale's eyes scanned the alien explorers one by one. No fear, no shock, only calculation. How long, he asked. One crewman whispered. 300 years, maybe more. Hale nodded once, slow, heavy, accepting reality like it was expected. More humans stepped out behind him, each with the same sharp eyes, same calm posture. No panic, no questions. They moved like a unit trained to fight, even in sleep. Riken's team tried diplomacy. We're explorers. We come in peace, their officer said, voice trembling. Hale almost smiled, but not kindly. Peace is for those who never faced extinction. The room felt colder. One of his soldiers activated a console. Lights burst through the ship's hallways like veins waking in a monster. Engines roared alive. Power surged. The entire vessel, silent for centuries, felt like it exhaled. The boarding team stepped back instinctively. Hale raised a gauntlet, scanning Asterion 4's insignia. Where is the Galactic Council now? Still ruling like gods. The explorers hesitated, too slow. Hale turned away, already finished with them. Bridge, prepare tactical exit. We have unfinished war. Riken's team realized too late. They weren't witnessing history. They had unleashed it. Suddenly, the ship's internal defense drones powered up, red eyes glowing like angry stars. Metal wings unfolded. Cannons charged with a low, hungry hum. The lead explorer whispered, voice barely air. We shouldn't have come here. The drones aimed. The first shot echoed like thunder. Outside, Asterion 4 watched helplessly as the Deathworld vessel awakened, and the galaxy's nightmare opened its eyes. The first blast shook the corridor like a star exploding in a tunnel. The boarding team scattered, but the drones were too fast, silent metal predators built for only one purpose: eliminate threats. Blue plasma cut through armor, walls, even air itself. 2 explorers fell before anyone could scream. Asterion 4 watched from outside, comms filled with panic and static. Abort mission. Get them out now. But there was no exit. The Deathworld ship had locked every hatch. Inside, Commander Hale walked through the chaos as if the fire was rain. He didn't stop the drones, didn't slow them. He simply observed, calculating like a surgeon inspecting tissue. To him, these explorers were not enemies. They were obstacles. Your species expanded while we slept. Hale spoke to no one and everyone. Did you think humanity died quietly? No, we waited. Another human officer, Lieutenant Merrick, appeared beside him, adjusting ancient armor like it was new. We resumed the campaign? Hale nodded. Set course for Council territory. If they are alive, they will answer. The crew moved like a machine awakening, not waking confused, but returning to a paused state of war. Consoles lit up. Shields powered. The vessel groaned like a beast stretching bones after centuries. Asterion 4 was still too close. When the engines ignited, space rippled. Shockwaves hurled the smaller ship sideways. Metal screamed. Panels flew. Riken's crew fought to stabilize, but the Deathworld vessel hadn't even fired. It merely woke up. Inside, one surviving explorer crawled behind a damaged console. His voice cracked through comms. They're not survivors. They're soldiers. This ship wasn't drifting, it was waiting. The Deathworld engines roared brighter. It was heading toward civilization, toward billions, toward war, and no one could stop it. The transmission from the dying explorers reached the nearest relay station only minutes before the Deathworld vessel did. One broken message, full of static, blood, and terror, echoed across every major network. Humans. Alive. Armed. Coming. Nobody believed it at first. Scholars called it a hoax. Militaries called it impossible. The last confirmed sighting of a human was older than most empires themselves. But then sensors detected the ship, a Class 3 Deathworld vessel breaking into populated space, shields raised, weapons online. Panic spread like fire across dry grass. The Vraxian Senate held an emergency session. Senators shouted over each other, demanding fleets, evacuation orders, bans on approaching the human craft. Others insisted on negotiation, claiming humanity might be peaceful. They all spoke bravely until the ship arrived on their doorstep. With its first jump, the vessel passed through 3 trade routes and disabled every patrol fleet without firing a single shot. It didn't need destruction to deliver fear. Its presence was enough. Cities shut down. Spaceports froze. Even pirates abandoned their hunting grounds. The galaxy had prepared for war with each other. They had never prepared for the return of Deathworlders. Counselor Threx, leader of the Galactic Council, stared at the hologram of the warship in disbelief. This is not an invasion, he whispered. It's a reminder. A reminder that humanity never surrendered, never begged, never died. Reports poured in. Colonies evacuated. Armies mobilized. Borders sealed. Yet the human vessel didn't attack. It simply moved, slow, steady, unstoppable, toward the heart of civilization. Some hoped humans came to talk. Most dreaded they came to finish what history never recorded. One thing every world finally understood. You could hide from empires. You could argue with gods. But you could never ignore humanity returning awake. The Deathworld vessel entered the galactic core like a storm walking into sunlight. Slow, confident, unstoppable. Thousands of defense platforms activated, ready to fire if the humans made even one hostile move. Fleets surrounded the ship from every direction, engines burning bright like a wall of stars. Still, the vessel did not slow. Still, it did not speak. Inside the council chamber, silence ruled. Leaders of 40 species watched the live broadcast with shaking hands and frozen breath. If they attacked, it could mean extinction. If they waited, it could mean invasion. No choice felt safe, not when Deathworlders were involved. Finally, the ship opened a channel. Commander Hale appeared as a towering hologram above them, scarred armor, emotionless eyes, presence like a weapon. He looked at the council as though they were children sitting in stolen chairs. 3 centuries, Hale said. His voice carried weight like planets falling. We defended humanity against a threat you never knew. We won, but we were damaged. We slept. And while we slept, you took our place. The council trembled. Nobody answered. Hale continued. We do not come for war. A breath of relief filled the chamber. Too soon. We come to reclaim what is ours. The relief turned to ice. We offer a choice, Hale said. Join us and stand with Deathworlders. Or deny us and stand against us. His gaze sharpened, cold as vacuum. There will not be a third option. Outside, the ship powered its engines again. Quiet, but loud enough to remind every star in sight that humanity returned not as survivors, but as claimants. Civilizations were built while humans slept. Now they must decide whether to kneel, fight, or vanish. Because once Deathworlders awaken, no galaxy remains the same.